In the previous video, we learned that observation and sense-making are used to build situational awareness. In this video, we'll expand on this process.
Let's go, Bravo! Let's go, Bravo! Kick it off, max level!
Norris, pop quiz. You're cutting a line on the side hill below the fire. Debris and logs can start to roll down across your line. What do?
Do a cup trench. Move the logs so they're up and down the slope.
There it is. Outstanding. Hey, McDonough, pop quiz. What's your 11th watch out? No, don't look at him. Look at me. What's your 11th watch out?
The fire liner cutting has been anchored.
Wrong. That's 8.
You're getting spot fires across
That's
the...
16. Alpha squad, hold. What's your 11th watch out?
Hover and fuel between you and the fire.
Firefighters died for us. We could learn all these watchouts. If you get another one wrong, I will choke you out.
That clip shows a hotshot crew that has thoroughly memorized the fire orders. However, memorizing the fire orders doesn't mean you can apply them. We need to create a thought process that incorporates and reinforces the safety mandates and can be remembered when needed the most. My hope is to show you that all these processes coexist in a systematic and fluid model that firefighters can use in a dynamic fire environment. Tactical plans should not be made without ensuring the standard firefighting orders are being followed. In relatively low complexity assignments, this can be done intuitively based on experience. In more complex situations, firefighters need to have an organized decision-making process that ensures the firefighting orders are being followed and contingencies are being considered. In a changing environment, this is a continuous cycle of assessment and evaluation. With this in mind, the risk management process was designed to aid in the implementation of the fire orders. It is an all-encompassing roadmap that outlines a sequence of considerations for making tactical decisions and organizes all the various tools and job aids that are at your disposal. This process is outlined on page 1 of the IRPG. The first step is to gather situational awareness about the fire environment. Gather as much information as possible, including fuels, weather, and topography. Remember that someone needs to scout the fire to check the current fire status and see how the fire is actually interacting with the fire environment. Once you've gathered your intel, you predict what the fire is going to do. You also predict what it could do. Make your plans accordingly, but always have contingency plans for the worst case fire scenario. Make a plan to mitigate those hazards, and use command and control to implement those controls with available resources. Okay, how many fire orders are there? How many watch-out situations are there? What's everyone's favorite wildland fire safety acronym? With all these lists, why do people still keep getting hurt and killed? In my opinion, it boils down to situational awareness. Many people think of situational awareness as simply an observation, but you need to know what you're looking for, and how to put that information into context as meaning and as actionable. Your perceptions are only as good as your perception of reality.
I'm not making this up. These are real.
Okay.
Who has a safety deposit box full of money and 6 passports and a gun? Who has a bank account number in their hip? I come in here, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm catching the sight lines and looking for an exit.
I see the exit sign too. I'm not worried. I mean, you were shot. People do all kinds of weird and amazing stuff when they're scared.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside. I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting up at the counter weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself. I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking. Now, why would I know that? How can I know that and not know who I am?
So a Jason Bourne example is a little extreme, but we are often put into situations where we have to react quickly and usually don't have much time to gather all the environmental information we need to accurately base our decisions upon. In 30 years of wildland firefighting, I've attended more than a few fire briefings. I can honestly say that almost every single one of them has included some preaching of a 1018, LCES, and an understanding of fire behavior. How is it then, we look at fatality investigation reports, we see fire crews are cited heavily for violating many, if not all, of these rules? I doubt they are intentionally thumbing their nose at safety, but for whatever reason, they don't recognize what they saw as too dangerous to mitigate. This photo is from the origin investigation of a fire I worked on recently. During the investigation, I found evidence that someone really enjoyed themselves that day. Bullet casings, beer cans, used road flares, tannerite, fireworks, paper plates, propane bottles, and tennis balls. I bagged them all up as evidence and took them down to state police office for storage and possibly to run some tests on. I pulled into the parking lot and an officer came out to get the bags from me. I picked up the bags and handed them to him. Before he grabbed them, he looked at me funny and started to back away. He told me to gently put them back in the truck and to move away myself. Long story short, he called the bomb squad. They came, put my tennis ball in a metal container with some explosives, and blew it up. What I saw as an innocent tennis ball, a trained observer saw as a potential exploding target, thus proving your perceptions are only as good as your perception of reality.